end. So whatever you need to do, get on it. All right. Hope you have started making very productive use of your day. I realize that the Mondays are still very quiet in most parts of the city, but ordinarily everybody has started going about their businesses, and of course, because of the season right in front of us, there's a quickening in action. So great things are happening, okay? The city is beginning to resemble what we remember from the good old days, and that is kudos to the Pitamba administration. It's been barely 2 years, and of course, the city is taking a shape. If you've been around, especially this December, you would notice that all of the works beginning to come together. They're beginning to have a certain look. The town is looking, like someone's looking after it, and that's an amazing thing coming from the Pitamba administration. Kudos to you and your people. All right, you can join us live on YouTube, okay? You can join us live. It's High Voltage News. Please like, subscribe, and share. You'll be doing us a big one. All right, you can also call live into the studio to be a part of the reviews this morning. Speak your mind, drop your contributions, your comments, and perhaps your reviews on the headlines that we're looking at this morning. Okay, the number that you will call, I mean, there are two of them. You call 0706 048 5853. You can also call 0915 570 8347, and you'll be live in the Volt studio this morning to analyze the news with me. My name is Mavis Atodume, okay? Let's go right into it this morning and tell you what's been going on. Updated stories from the weekend, and of course what's happening today, breaking fresh stories to you as well. On the Punch News this morning, the Lukarawas have made a reappearance in the news this morning. Nigeria and neighbors begin offensive attack against new terror group. All right, I'm assuming all the neighboring countries around us. I'm assuming Niger and of course Cameroon and so many of these other neighboring West African countries, Niger, Benin, and some of these people who are our neighbors. I guess the Lukarawas are not just bothering us; they are probably bothering these people as well. And what did we expect that they would? I mean, this is what they do. So I expected to see this before now, but it's good that it's come up and that they're joining forces to fight this new terror group. All right, the tax business is still on. It's been going around. It's being suspended. All right, I told you this last week because of the agitation of the North, because of the disgruntlement of the North. They have raised all manners of reasons why this particular reform is completely and totally against them, and how it will affect them very badly, despite how it might affect other states in Nigeria very positively. But for some reason, this bill has been suspended, but still the stories are still around it, and of course it's still in the workings because nothing is final yet. I mean, this is our dear country, so anything is possible. So I believe that the talks are still going on. At least this morning, Akume placed down northern opposition as Senate meets AGF. So you see, this conversation is still ongoing. Nobody is backing down, at least not at the moment. The president wants this to happen. All right, the North is fighting it, raising arguments. I told you that Governor Zulum also told the presidency that if they went ahead and implemented this reform, he said that there will be consequences. I've been trying to wrap it around my head what Governor Zulum meant by there will be consequences. Is it okay to threaten the presidency? Was it going to pass if any other person had made that statement in this country, especially in this day and time? But it seems that some people do have a louder voice in Nigeria than most. It's not like it's true, but we have seen situations like this. And also to people who are very, very hopeful, I know a lot of Nigerians who became really excited with the Trump administration. Apparently, there is going to be a mass deportation. Okay, the Trump administration is also vying for the end of birth citizenship in America. I don't know how you feel about this, but yes, this is what's breaking this morning. All right, you can drop your contributions, comments, shocks, and surprises on the phone lines this morning. It's open. You can call in, join me. Let's try to figure these things out, know what is happening. Okay. It's 0706 You can also call 0915-570-8347 to be a part of the program this morning. Now we're moving over to the Daily Post to tell you that 2027 presidency. I've asked him twice. Show-me is talking to Atiku in this particular story. Show-me asking Atiku if he really wants to be president. And of course, there are also rumors that the North needs to take a chill pill from the presidency business till like 2031. I don't know if they really have the powers to decide that from what we have seen. I mean, everybody gets to do what they want at this point. All right. Atiku refuses to give reactions, says, show me. All right. Let's still see if there are more interesting things to find. Anti-corruption must begin from the top, says President Obasanjo. All right. Former President Obasanjo. Right. He's been in the news lately. I'm almost getting tired of it because, I mean, why don't you people implement these changes? You have all this power. You have all these people who listen to you. You know what works, and it's former President Obasanjo. He knows everyone. He has all the powers. So I'm just asking, is everybody so helpless? They keep telling us all this stuff. All this, I call it moralistic statements that are being dropped around like it makes everything okay. You have power, powerful people. You are in power still because, I mean, if your words meant nothing, you won't be saying them. So if you people knew what was meant to be done, if you knew what was supposed to be done, why is nobody doing it? Why are you telling us? What do you want us to do? Are we the top? Am I the top? I'm wondering because y'all sit and dine together. You marry together. You intermarry. These are your in-laws. All right. You have a big entire circle going on. And every day in the news, we find those of you who have had top opportunities to effect crazy changes in this country. You don't do it, and when you're out and you come out, you begin to drop these quotes like, okay, what do you want us to do? You hear former President Jonathan do this. Former President Buhari has started dropping quotes too. I'm wondering, why are you telling me? No, really, why are you telling us? Why don't you do it? Why don't you facilitate it? It's so bad. You get the power you so desperately want. You get it. And in most cases, you waste our time. And then when you're done, because there are no consequences, nobody to hold you accountable, nobody to ask you any questions of how you've wasted our time and our resources and everything, you are all living very lavishly in your homes, enjoying the proceeds of wasting our time. And then from the comfort of those homes of yours, you stay there and you tell us all this, how we need to, corruption must stop from the top. Okay, sir. You've done very well. Now that you've said it, everything is back to normal. We're okay. And corruption has ended just because you said it. What is going on? You're watching them recycle people who did not perform properly in your government. But because you don't want to be held accountable, so you can't say he's bad or he's bad at his job, don't give him that ministerial position. Don't give him, don't make him head of Senate. You people can't call each other out because you're all guilty of it. That's the problem we're having. Nobody can point anybody. You're telling us there's corruption from the top. Okay, sir. Who? Because you can't even finger anybody. If you finger anybody, they'll finger you right back. Because you're all in on it. So I'm tired of hearing former people who used to be in power coming to tell us what it is they think is wrong. We gave you the opportunity to change what was wrong. You didn't do it. Hence, we still are dealing with it. We have a president currently sitting now who told us that he was going to change all of these problems and give us food to eat. You can go out in our streets and you will see that we do not have any food to eat. And tomorrow he is going to be done with this. And nobody's going to call him and say, why did you do this? Why did you treat this country like this? You kept us poor for so long a time. You did this, you did that. Nobody's going to say anything. And then he's going to go home, retire properly, stay in his house, and tell us tomorrow what needs to be done in the country. Aren't you tired? Aren't we tired of doing this over and over again? You have ex-governors, ex-senators. They are all, when they retire from this thing that they wanted to do so much that they were able to do nothing with, they will come back and then they will tell you, oh, the country needs to do this. The country needs to do that. Oh, seriously, why didn't you do that? Why don't you people carry out these visions as you see them, because you promised that you've seen them before you were elected into office, and then when you get there, it's like you're completely confused. You are oblivious of what you need to do. Now you don't know what to do to reduce the price of petroleum. Now you don't know what to do to create health care for Nigerians. Now you don't know what to do anything for us. Now, everybody's now clueless. You don't have all those experts that help you people answer questions at the Chatham House. You don't have all those big brains anymore now to tell us how we're going to feed ourselves, especially the coming year. This administration has no plans for 2025, not that I have heard. It's all money, borrow. Oh, no, we need that, need that, need that. Spending billions of Nigerians' money on entertainment. Governors are guilty of this. We're seeing what you're submitting back to your state houses as expenditures for your entertainment. We are wondering how much merriment is going on in there that you people have to spend so much on it. Is this still a job, or is this a jamboree? One of you better get us one of these jobs where it's all jamborees and billions of money spent on entertaining yourselves. You people better have some pity on all of us, because I mean, except you have hopes that your children are the ones who are the only people who are able to feed themselves or get anything done in this country by the time you all impoverish all of us. Except that is what the plan is. But if this is any plan for a national growth, where everybody is involved, everybody is considered, everybody is important, because there is a classism that is going on in this country. Nobody is trying to address it. I give kudos to people who are on the internet, who are trying their best to discuss the unnecessary classism that we have here. We don't see each other as, we don't consider each other to be that important. We don't have any self-respect. We don't see ourselves as anything. So we get to treat each other very poorly. And that is why we are letting our country take this phase. Because if we had any respect for each other, if we treated each other with an atom of self-importance, then some of the things that I come here to read to you every morning, and I'm sure you listen to it on other news channels, radio stations, so it's in your face in the TV every day. You know, some of the things that are being said to us here will come out a lot different than it does. But because of the level of disrespect that we have for ourselves, we can tell each other whatever, no matter how ridiculous that story sounds. On national news in this country, we were told that animals made away with billions of cash. Live cash in this country. I don't know if you know any history, but I don't think any country has ever reported this in their government affairs. And let me tell you something. That story flied. It was an accepted story. It's one of the things that's in our history books. Our children, the ones, if we manage to have enough education system at the time we're looking at, to be able to have children who might still want to read and research and find out things, they will find out that at a certain time in this country, in a certain dispensation and administration, in a time when the world was not in so much darkness anymore, that our dear nation lost billions of naira to snakes. That is something. That is something. And then the monkeys also attacked. There were also rats running people out of presidential buildings. These things are true. And then, of course, the Accountant General's office catches fire at the time when all of this is happening. So what is being said to you is you don't even see the effort. Nobody's making any effort to try to hide the insinuations being made. Nobody's even trying hard to disguise what it is that's going on. It's right there in your face, very disrespectfully so, like it's staring at you. Look at it. This is exactly what it is that happened. And it's like we have no balls whatsoever. What are we going to do? And we ask each other these questions every day. What are we going to do about it? Well, I'm asking you back. What are we going to do about these things? So the president, the former president Olusegun Obasanjo, had me this morning when I saw that headline. Of course, he had a long speech where that headline particularly came out from. And it kind of angered my spirit. I saw it quite early this morning and I was pissed off. I'm like, what's with this old man telling us what they think is wrong? When we gave them ultimate power to fix what is wrong, they didn't. They didn't do that. They didn't change the policies. They didn't fix it. You see the way the North are fighting this tax reform bill. This administration might finish, and you know what? It wouldn't be done. And then this president will go home when he retires, and from the comfort of his home, he's going to tell us, y'all would have allowed me to put up the tax reform bills, and now Nigeria is suffering because I didn't, we didn't put up the new tax reform bill. Why is it that it's the one that is probably going to shape things up, create equality and balance? Why are those the ones that never come to see the light of day? But once the money is going to roll back into the pockets of the elites, stamp on that policy. It must run. It takes immediate effect. Nobody argues it. We are going to change the naira. We're going to really seize the monies in the bank. We implement those real quickly. 24 hours it's implemented. No stories, no questions asked, no executive meetings, governors not running helter-skelter. Everybody's good. We are going to remove subsidy. Fantastic. No protests from anybody. Everybody's good with this one. Oh yes. The price and fuel hike, all kinds of things. This country can go burning. Nobody would say anything. But the moment it's about to benefit the people, then there is an uprising. Somebody's pissed off. Nigerians will cry of hunger from Monday to Monday, year after year. Nobody says anything. Everybody carries on like nothing is happening. But the moment you go on a peaceful walk on the street and you are like, no, this is not supposed to be. We're supposed to get, you are a terrorist. Come here. We are going to arrest you. In fact, in what we have seen in recent times, there is no, pleasantries of arrest. Arrest is too polite. We just take you, pew, and that's it. And then by the time, we find out you've been in there for 3 months, and then if they want to leave you, then that's good. These things are happening in our dear country, and there is silence. There is silence. We just scream free Dele Farotimi, and then we all go back and wait for the next person to be taken. So I'm of the opinion that if these presidents, when we give them a chance to perform all these magic that they usually have the capability of performing before they get into office and then become completely clueless, if they cannot put up all that magic while they are in office, please, when they go home, can they keep quiet for a moment and then watch things play out? Really? Because it's really insulting when they churn out all these great advice as to how to fix things, when they would have fixed things if they wanted to in the first place. All right, let's look around and see if we could grab a couple more stories. Okay, we were looking at the Daily Post before I went on that tiny little rant right there. Okay, nothing much is going on the Daily Post this morning. Let's take a swing at the Vanguard and see if we can find something. There's always something going on. Okay, let's see. Okay, why Naira is in massive recovery race across all markets, says Nigerian bankers. All right, I hope you all are not rejoicing because we have a few Nigerians coming in for the Christmas celebration. I hope this is not what it is, because I'm seeing articles flying left and right as how the Naira is improving against the dollar, because it's now 1,500. That's not the magic you think it is. All right, so what happens by the time January, February, when all these people leave? What happens then? No, really, what happens then? What happens to the value? What happens to value? What happens to the to the black market then? What happens? All right. Okay, I think we have someone on the line. Good morning.
Hello?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Greetings.
Yeah, just from my mind.
You're welcome.
You see what happened in Ghana on Saturday?
Oh yes, the elections.
So who is now the big brother?
Okay, why are you asking me that?
Huh?
Why are you asking me that? Who's the big brother?
Who is now the big brother? Is it
Nigeria
or Ghana?
I don't know. Maybe because wait, you should know that we have this like superiority complex. We are still the big boys. No matter what happens, we're still good.
On what aspect? On corruption?
I think we're number 2 now in Africa. Is that correct? Yes, number 2 in Africa. We're doing well. We're not doing so bad.
I was so happy on this Ghana election.
Our president has congratulated
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame for our leaders. It's a shame. But see, do you know, in a normal same country now, do you know that Goodluck would have come back?
Why? Why is that? Why is that? Why do you say so?
Buhari does not even need a second term. If not for how we take our own democracy, personal and everything,
okay,
Goodluck should have come back.
I'm still asking, why do you think
all the structures
Goodluck
that
Jonathan would have come
in place were all destroyed by this Nana Akufo. They were all destroyed by him. So he go and check John Drama policies and this guy policy. You know, it's never a match. It's never a match. This man played at his 8 years, but that 4 years of John was very significant in the lives of the Ghanaians.
But
That
we
was
too,
why.
we have seen a change in power, where the opposition, we are running with an opposition party right now. What do you believe that it will make a lot of changes in Ghana? That's the opposition party that's taking power now.
No,
You don't
no.
think?
Let me tell you. If a peradventure an opposition wins this election, our own election, which can never happen, as long as APC is concerned.
Oh dear.
I don't think of that, and it will not be a miracle. It will be a super miracle for such a thing to happen.
Is it?
It will be a super miracle.
The APC, have they become that powerful in Nigeria that they can't lose an election?
APC have taken hold, and I don't think any other party will outweigh them now, because all the little structure we have that will perfect our institution are being destroyed by them, to make sure that no institution is workable again. No institution is workable. By the time they lose power, there is nothing to our institution will be nothing to write home about. That is what APC is trying to achieve, so that they can hold on to power as long as they want. So PDP, because of their selfishness and personal interest, lost that election. It was selfish interest because of hatred. So let's just see what will happen in this coming election. But I don't give any hope for any opposition in Nigeria again, because
this is a very strong assertion.
The structures have been dismantled for any opposition to win that national position. It has been dismantled. It depends the grace of God for you to get through in any election now conducted by APC. It takes the grace of God for you to get through. Now, APC has taken dominance of the political structures in Nigeria.
What does this what does this say about the other opposition parties in Nigeria? Are they really doing their job, or what are we experiencing with our opposition in Nigeria?
Now, if I ask, do we have opposition party? We don't have.
We're supposed
only have opposition when you won election, and which you will at the wrong time decamp to the ruling party. What happened to the Labour Party members now? What happened to them?
4 of them have decamped.
All of them have decamped to APC.
They have all decamped. Almost all of them.
Almost all of them have decamped to APC. And now you are telling me we are going to have opposition by the next coming election.
But does it mean that the PDP, they are not desperate to take back power from the APC the way they took it from them? Because they had 16 years.
Atiku ambition is what is killing PDP now. Atiku's ambition. Atiku should know that it is not his for him to support younger people, set of people. Atiku should not be contesting this election by now. He should have made himself a godfather in PDP than eyeing for the next election. So as long as Atiku remains there, and Atiku want to contest that election, I'm telling you, nothing will ever come out of PDP.
There's been a meeting with Peter Obi, and the rumors coming out from that meeting still says that he is hoping that Obi still vices him, in the next election.
Even if Atiku wants to be Obi vice, because of Atiku, they are going to fail.
Why?
Atiku should leave that stage. Atiku should leave that stage for other people.
Okay.
Being a president of Nigeria, it's not a must that you must be the president.
Oh, he's really
desperate
at it.
And while he was there, he commanded many influence. So he should relax, support younger people, support other people to that position. As long as he remains there and he wants to take the party ticket at every given time, PDP will always be in disarray.
Wow.
They will always be in disarray. If Atiku did not contest that election, that last election, do you know PDP would have been a strong opposition now, even if the APC won.
But you can't take away the relationship between the APC during the former election, which was one of the disadvantages PDP had during that election.
What brought about the sort relationship? The same article. Was it not the same article? Was it not the same article that brought that sort relationship that opposition captured on? So article should denounce that his intention of being Nigerian president for now and support other people if we must have an opposition. If not, I'm telling you, by the next election, opposition in Nigeria will be as dead as nothing, and we will have a one-party system.
All right, Justice, thank you so much. It's always a pleasure talking to you and hearing your thoughts on these things. These are really deep conversations about oppositions in Nigeria. From what we are seeing, I'm not sure if we really still have that. Good morning to you. Good morning.
My dear, good morning to you. Okay, Chuku from Abana Road.
I greet you. You're welcome.
I took time to listen to this young man from Achala. What do you call him? The last speaker.
Justice.
Justice, yes. Justice, you should take it easy because I might agree with him that Atiku actually is the architect of the PDP is the problem. Also, when Atiku himself set up a committee to decide who becomes his vice. And the committee came up and listed the people in order of preference. Wike was number one, followed by this man from Delta, the ELCO, and the other people. Instead of choosing the number one, which the whole party agreed, he went and picked the ELCO. I don't know. That man, and just like the Benue man told him, that he shouldn't think that the Fulani people alone will give his victory. Let me tell you the truth. If Atiku had picked Wike at that time,
okay,
nothing would have stopped them from winning that election.
Nothing would have stopped them. That sounds very strong.
You, because it is always easy for the opposition to come up when a fresh candidate is in the main party.
Okay.
Are you getting me? It is difficult to contest with an incumbent who is going for the second term.
Of course.
They took over from what do you call him? Jonathan, simply because, will I say, many people, the Tinubu, if you watch what Tinubu did, Tinubu was very patient. He knew he couldn't do it alone. He started to gang up people, and he succeeded in ganging them. And he knew that he couldn't have taken Jonathan alone. Couldn't have taken him down alone. He went and brought somebody he felt people regarded as being credible there. That was Buhari.
Yeah.
And joined forces with him. Exercised a lot of patience. Used Buhari to couple Jonathan. And then decided to say it is my miracle, my son. So the trouble that is in this country, if you watch most countries, like even this Ghana, they have two dominant parties, two political parties, two parties. It's always nice for those countries. Watch both the US, all these countries that have two dominant political parties.
Yes.
They always have a credible, a very, very strong politics. But when you decide to fragment it, look at it to be Kwankwaso and Atiku, splitting their vote, splitting up to 15 million. More than 15 million, 15.8 million, as against Atiku's only 8 points. I mean, what do you call him? Tinubu's only 8 point something million. So assuming this is our own state, our own country is the time that insists that you must get 51%. There would have been another round of election. Nobody would have taken only 30% because Tinubu got only 37%. How can somebody with 37% become the president of the country?
It happened.
Huh?
It happened.
Yeah, because Nigeria is creating problems. If they had said you must get up to 51%, which is itself and the person have gone for another round in deficit because all those people who voted who have voted Atiku. Yes. So then we start operating. It was Babangida who wanted to put up what would have been the best system for this country. When we formulated two political parties, SDP and NRC. The man fragmented this thing. That's why it's becoming very difficult to topple somebody like the ruling party. You fragment all this rubbish. If they had fragmented their position during Jonathan, nobody would have toppled Jonathan. They decided to come together. Yes. Look at this neck man saying that Ghana copied from us. That it is our food. Why is that man annoying us?
But
That they copied us. They copied us. Is that the type of election we did?
well,
Of course, we did. People are passing the money when I radio. The front. Passing the money when maybe speak. Good morning, my sister.
good morning.
Yes,
Good morning. Good morning, Mr. K. Have a good day ahead of you. These things are funny. These things are funny. You know. Okay, so while Mr. K was talking, the question in my head was, so what are we going to do? Because have you heard? Nothing is going to happen. Impossibilities happen here. What are you going to do? Good morning to you.
Good morning, Melvis.
Greetings.
My name is Charles Mafiko.
You're welcome, Charles.
Talking of Obasanjo, I think Obasanjo, he has the right to talk. You understand?
Okay.
Because I think he left good legacy. So when he talks, honestly, I listen.
Okay.
You get?
Okay.
Though he might not, he was not perfect anyway. He had one or two faults.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at the last 30, 40, 50 years, but the only person that has at least done one or two things that they can see is tangible.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows it.
Mm-hmm.
You get? That's why he comes down and he talks boldly. Other people around, they are just nothing to write him about. You know? So like, there was a day I went to my garage and I saw one record, this record plate.
Okay.
That was popular in those days.
Mm.
My uncle left it. You get?
Mm-hmm.
I was looking at one of Sonny Okosun's songs, Which Way Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that the song was so old.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that song was in 1981.
Mm-hmm.
You get?
Mm-hmm.
And there's one particular place in that song that says, let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die.
Mm-hmm.
That song was done in 1981. So I was not thinking, I said, so as far as 1981, Nigeria needed a savior.
It goes way back. It goes way back.
As far back as 1981, Nigeria was already a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
I am telling you the truth.
Mm-hmm.
So Obasanjo is the only person that at least tried. If you look at Obasanjo's records, his records are a little bit okay. He was not a tribalist. He was open-hearted. You look at his appointment. The Northerners were there. The Southeasterners were there. The Yorubas were there. If you look at the GSM thing, that is very common today. So Obasanjo. The Nigeria first satellite was by Obasanjo. You get? You have so many things he did. The paraded reforms he got about $18 billion. It was Obasanjo. When he is talking, I listen. Talking about, somebody talks about APC, that nobody can defeat them. That's a big lie.
Why do you think it's a lie?
If you are prepared for an election,
Okay.
you will win.
Can you please help me define prepared for the election?
Okay, let me take you back to during the time of Abiola contested.
Okay.
Under SDP.
Abiola
was prepared for that
SDP.
election.
Mm-hmm.
Abiola was very popular. He had the resources to control an election.
Mm-hmm.
You get? There were so many good things he did. He said something in school that if you go to Abs, you see Abiola Hostel there.
Oh yeah, sure, very popular.
Abiola built that hostel in 1988. You get? He contested in 1993.
I'm with you.
He did it across the nation. Across Nigeria, all the universities in Nigeria that time, he built hostels, gave them money. He gave every polytechnic 250,000. Then, for all these polytechnics, all of them that time, in 1988. So he was prepared for the election. during that time, during that 1993 this cowbell milk, as at that, Nigerians could not afford milk. He imported shiploads of cowbell milk into Nigeria. So if you are prepared, what I'm trying to say, if you are prepared for an election, win the election. Even the military hierarchy could not stop him. You understand? Even to that, I'm telling you, Melvis, many governors won elections without, if that as opposition parties. So someone like Kuti,
Okay.
in Abia State, he won an election. Someone like Adeleke in Osun State, he beat an APC incumbent governor.
So, okay, wait a minute. How much preparation does any opposition, first of all, do you consider PDP to be an opposition party? In
No,
Nigeria,
they
presently. Okay, good. So PDP in its present state, with all the inside squabbles and all the problems that they are having within them as a party, do you believe they still have a chance to take power back from the APC? Do you believe that?
They have been bringing up that because I think he's a very bad candidate. That's what I'm talking about preparation.
Okay.
As equal people, it's not popular. I don't want to.
Yeah, but for some reason, he keeps making an appearance. Why do you think that is?
See, every convention, Atiku buy delegates with $10,000. From $5,000 to $10,000. Everybody is aware of this thing. You get. So in every PDP convention, he already has money to buy delegates. That's why he did it. In fact, he has been doing it for the past 10, 14, 15 years. That's what the problem is. And people know he's a bad candidate. He's not popular. He's not a popular person. When Buhari, like the last class, when Tinubu saw that Buhari was a good candidate, he had about 10, 12 million bankable votes in the north. He met him and told the guy, come out, I'll give you votes from the southwest. That's preparation for election. You know what I'm saying?
So you're saying the PDP, they are not prepared to take back power.
They have a bad candidate. That's the problem. They have a bad candidate. If they bring out a good candidate, they win in peace.
So do you think that if the PDP had flaunted Peter Obi in the last election, they would have had a chance?
Of course.
They would have.
Of course. They have a structure on ground. If Peter Obi was their presidential candidate, they would have won that election. Not they would have won it. I don't want to get.
Yeah,
okay, if you go to Kano State today, NNPC defeated APC because NNPC, they were on ground. Even we can't today as former governor, as an incumbent governor, he lost Kano State.
Oh yes, that was true.
With all his influence,
So
I can count states in Nigeria. Hakim won election in Imo State under PPA. Hakim.
Oh, Hakim, yes, I remember.
You remember? Rochas won under ABGA, which was not a strong party. What I'm saying is, if you are prepared for an election, you win. Forget about this APC. If you are prepared for an election, you win the election.
Yes.
I can go on and on. You get what I'm trying to say? So the problem is that PDP does not have a good candidate. And there is problem inside the party. Weaker faction, this one, that one, secret faction. You can't win an election that way. You know the kind of empire that people do with Labour Party. Now imagine him in PDP. Oti was well prepared for this election in Abia State. You get? Even when they tried to rig him out, he's too strong and his people came out and fought for him. So probably this issue of APC has done is it doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If you come out prepared, you will win. Like I talked about Abiola. Abiola was prepared. And people knew that there was nothing that could have stopped him.
All right. Before I let you go, Charles, I have one question to ask you. Do you think someone like Peter Obi came to the last election, the former election? Do you think he came to those elections prepared? Would you consider him prepared?
He was prepared, but
he was prepared. He miscalculated.
He miscalculated. He was in the wrong party.
Did you consider the present administration very prepared for the last election?
You mean the last election?
Yes, I mean the present administration. Would you consider their performance in the last election as prepared? Do you think they were prepared for that election?
Of course they were prepared. They were prepared. These are desperate people. Tinubu is a desperate man.
Desperate.
You get? he knew that if he doesn't win the election, he will hijack INEC, hijack judiciary. But he needs someone who is very strong. He knew that the people he was fighting against are not united and they were not strong. What I'm saying, if P2B had been in PDP, and had the backing of Atiku, and other strong like Wike, if they have united, they would have beaten this guy.
Yeah.
Beaten Tinubu. So that the beating election is preparation. If you are doing election, you will win. Forget all these things. Let me tell you, in the United States, Donald Trump, before this election, was rated the worst American president. Are you aware?
Oh, yes. And here he is.
Worst American president in history.
He's right back as president of America.
He has two impeachments, how many felons, so many things against him. You get? But he never listened to all those things. He was prepared. He had men following him. You get? So if you come out prepared for the election, you win. Let me not take much of your time. Good morning. Don't you have any?
All right, Charles. Thank you very much for your very insightful for calling. And also, when you were talking, you of the Abiola and cowbell relation. If you were there, you had to be there. Also known as Abiola milk. That's the cowbell milk because of Abiola making it available and popular to Nigerians. All right. Also, Charles, you said something very important. You said if you prepared for an election, there is a very strong chance that you would win. I had a gossip somewhere over the weekend where people in a very merry place were saying that Peter Mbah will not have any oppositions or anybody coming to contest the next elections with him because apparently Enugu State is very impressed with what he's doing. So I guess Charles is making a lot of sense right now. It turns out if you do a certain level of good work, it kind of comes back to you and the people will give you their support. All right. Peter Obi had a terrible outing last year. From the look of things, he didn't have the right backings at the time. A lot of people in this country are hoping that in the next presidential election that there will be a change in government, which of course the story of this opposition problem comes in. The performance of the opposition and the ruling party and their gauge of trying to have power. All right, so from what we've seen, the ruling party is quite good at holding it down, which we have seen from their behaviors and their moves. So this is what it is. Hopefully, at the next election, the right people are given the right backing, and then we are able to pick someone who would, for once, put the people first and consider them as their priorities. All right, we have a few comments from YouTube. Sam Onyekwere, Ghana is so lucky that Yakubu Mahmoud didn't go to Ghana to observe the elections. INEC Yakubu Mahmoud will win the Nigerian Got Talent show. Nigeria only conducts selections and not elections. I understand why you would say that. There is very strong proof as to why you would say that. How can you have opposition party when all parties don't have clear different manifestos? Atiku just wants the name of president on his resume. It's just an accolade to him. Don't forget the magician Yakubu Mahmoud. All right, it's seeming like Atiku's ambition of presidency in Nigeria is more of a personal vendetta, has nothing to do with the Nigerian people itself. A lot of people are of this opinion. All right, let's see if we can grab a couple more. All right. Okay, so this is coming from Sam Onyekwere. No political party can move Nigeria forward in a positive direction. A government full of kleptocrats can never succeed. The last administration had no defined agenda but taking over government. Sam, you seem to have figured out how this thing works, or what it looks like it works like. But this is it. This is it. We hope that the PDP clean up their house, figure things out. Labour Party is a no-go at this point from what we have seen them display just after the elections. It's not been up to 2 years.
Stay plugged in to the flow.